Hey, what's up guys? The DJI Pocket 4 came out recently and a lot of you are still in doubt whether to upgrade to this camera or go for the Pocket 3 now that it's dropping in price. On paper, the Pocket 4 looks like a real step up. 4K at 240 frames per second, full D-Log, 107 gigabytes of storage built in and smarter tracking. But there's one thing the spec sheet won't tell you. It's the exact same sensor as the Pocket 3. So this isn't the image quality jump you might be expecting. In this video, I'll break down what actually changed and which one's the smarter buy for you. So let's get into it. Let's start with what actually changed going from the Pocket 3 to the Pocket 4. The camera itself has the same shape and size and you'll hardly distinguish them unless you see the small details. It's the same 1-inch sensor and the same 20mm f2.0 lens. So in good light, the footage from the two looks really close. Where the Pocket 4 does pull ahead is everything wrapped around that sensor. You now get 4K at 240 frames per second, so your slow motion is twice as smooth as the Pocket 3. The dynamic range is up to 14 stops and it finally shoots full D-Log instead of the cut down D-Log M you were stuck with before. That one's personal for me. I've spent way too many late nights fighting D-Log M in the grade, trying to pull back a blown out sky that just wasn't there anymore. Full D-Log gives you real room to push the color before it falls apart. And let's not forget that a 1-inch sensor is huge for something this small. It's what gives you that soft, blurred out background behind your subject that a phone has to fake with software. It also holds up far better once the light drops in the evening. The Pocket 4 performs a bit better in low light too, since the ISO ceiling roughly doubled and the screen got brighter, which you'll genuinely notice when you're filming outside in the sun. Photos jump from around 9 megapixels to 37. Then there's storage, which is the upgrade I'd actually pay for. The Pocket 4 has 107 gigabytes built in on top of the MicroSD slot. The Pocket 3 had no internal storage at all, so if you forgot a card, you are done for the day. I once had a card corrupt on me and lost a whole morning of clips. After that happens once, storage you can't lose stops being a luxury. One more upgrade that's easy to overlook is the audio. The Pocket 4 steps up to 4-channel recording, where the Pocket 3 captured 2, so you've got more separate tracks to balance in the edit. Pair it with a DJI mic and you can keep your voice clean while still grabbing the sound of the world around you. When I'm vlogging on a busy street or grabbing a quick interview, that extra control is sometimes the difference between usable audio and a clip I have to throw away. The Pocket 3 still sounds great for its size, but for dialogue heavy work, the 4 gives you more to play with. One upgrade that doesn't get enough credit is the subject tracking, and it's a big deal if you film yourself. The Pocket 3 ran ActiveTrack 6, which was fine, but I've had it drop me at the worst possible moment. I'd step out of frame for a second, then come back to find it had locked onto a stranger walking past. The Pocket 4 moves up to ActiveTrack 7. It grabs onto you faster, holds better when someone crosses in front of you, and lets go a lot less often. Something else worth knowing, and it's the same on both cameras. They're great for vertical video. The camera head rotates, so you just turn it and you're filming vertical at full quality, instead of cropping a wide shot down and losing half your frame. If most of what you make ends up on TikTok, Reels or Shorts, that's a real time saver. And because the screen flips around to face you, framing yourself is easy. You can actually see you're in the shot before you hit record, which I use constantly for talking to camera. And it's not only video, both cameras shoot sharp photos time-lapse and even motion time-lapse, where the gimbal slowly pans across a scene on its own. It's a simple way to get a cinematic shot of a sunset or a busy street without carrying any extra gear. Before we get to the price, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe if this is helping. And if this video reaches 1000 likes, I'll make a full tutorial on how to get started with both of these cameras. Alright, the Pocket 4 lands at around $499 for the standard kit and about $740 if you go for the creator combo with the mic and the extras. The Pocket 3 launched at a similar price, but it's been out for 2 years now, so depending on the deal, you'll usually find it somewhere between $400 and $500, and it's dipped close to $400 on a good day. So at full price they're pretty close, but the Pocket 3 is the one that actually goes on sale. If your budget is tight and you mostly shoot in good light, that gap is hard to ignore. You'd be paying the new model premium for features you might never touch. Now, if you live in the US, this next part might decide the whole thing for you. DJI has been on the FCC's covered list since the end of last year, and the Pocket 4 never got the clearance it needed, so you can't buy it from DJI directly. But I've spotted it on Amazon US recently. I'll leave some links in the description if you want to check it out. The Pocket 3 made it in before all of those regulations took place, so you can find it on the DJI store, Amazon, and everywhere else. Outside the US, none of this applies, and the Pocket 4 is easy to get. The good thing is that most of the accessories from the Pocket 3 are compatible with the Pocket 4, since the camera size and shape look almost identical, so if you already have grips, tripods, ND filters and so on, you'll be able to use them with the Pocket 4. Then, the battery is built into both of them, so unfortunately we can't swap it with a fully charged one when it dies. On a full charge, DJI rates the Pocket 4 at up to around 240 minutes of recording, and the Pocket 3 at up to about 166 minutes. Just keep in mind those are best case numbers at 1080p, shoot in 4K, and you'll get a fair bit less out of both. So on a long day, a power bank is still your friend. Another thing to note is that none of these cameras are waterproof, and to be honest, as these cameras have mechanical and moving parts, it would be quite difficult and expensive to make them waterproof. So if you're filming near water or in the rain, grab a case, or even better, reach for an action camera like the DJI Action 6 that's made for this purpose. If you made it this far in the video and you're still confused about which camera to get, just know that it all depends on what you need it for, and of course your budget. If you already own a Pocket 3 and it's doing the job, I wouldn't rush to upgrade. The image is pretty close, and most of what you're paying for is features that are mostly used in professional shoots, like D-Log for better color grading, or the 14 stops for a better dynamic range. If you have client work or you shoot professionally and need more control, then the Pocket 4 would make sense. I'll leave links to these cameras below. But the big difference comes if we compare the Pocket 3 to the Pocket 4 Pro with its impressive dual lens system. Watch this video if you want to see a preview of it.